As you can see, all around here it just doesn't fit. It is extremely off. What's up YouTube? Back again with another episode today. This one's going to be a little bit on the short side because I haven't got enough content to actually make a full-blown video right now. But I'm sort of committing to doing a video a week if I can, so yeah, here we are. I've been basically waiting on parts all this week, so I haven't really had a chance to do anything further on the EL from last time. So last time we started on the base tune, but we didn't get that far into it, basically because I didn't have any form of monitoring, and ideally you'd want to be monitoring your air-fuel ratios, and if there was a way that you could actually tell what the engine load or engine vacuum was, it makes things a little bit easier. So this week that's what I've gone out and bought. Just went and picked up the last of the parts that I need to do this afternoon actually. So yeah, I'll show you what we got, and then we'll just sort of cover what we're actually going to do in terms of getting this all installed, and yeah, hopefully on the following episode we'll actually get back into the tuning side of things. So yeah, let's go see what we got. Okay, so in terms of what we got, just kept it basic, and I've gone for an air fuel ratio gauge with the wideband sensor, the controller, everything's built in on this kit from AEM. I've got a real cheap vacuum gauge, Autogauge brand. They're not that great, to be honest. They'll be good enough for what I'm doing here. This brings me to the next problem. I didn't know where I was going to mount them, so I've gone with this A-pillar mount, and I'm not entirely convinced that it's going to look any good, but I want it in plain sight. I don't want it to stand out too much. You can mount them off the A-pillar and they're sort of out of the way, I guess. Otherwise you could mount them on the dash itself, in the center of the dash, and just angle them towards the driver. Not too keen on that. So I thought I'll buy this and try it, see if I can get it to work. These are going to need work. There is no pillar mount that I know of that fits a E-series. So this is basically just universal. That profile there is completely wrong. So that's all got to be reshaped. I'm not sure how well this thing takes to heat, because I was thinking of heating it up and sort of remolding it around the factory EL A-pillar, but yeah, that's basically what we're looking at there. So I'll see if I can get this thing modded a bit and just see how it actually looks on the pillar. Yeah, do a bit of a unboxing on these gauges and see what we got. Alright, so this is what we're looking at. We'll start with this thing first because it's the most basic thing you can ever bloody buy. So this is a vacuum gauge, reads 0 to 30 inches of vacuum. Pretty simple in terms of hooking it up. You've got this little brass fitting here, so a vacuum line goes off there, and then you just plug it into a port somewhere on the intake manifold, or a vacuum source off the intake manifold. So you just got your wires there for earth positive power, and then your ignition source, or possibly even illumination. I'm not sure yet. I haven't looked into the instructions for this particular gauge, but it'll be easy enough. In terms of the wideband sensor kit, so this is the gauge here. It's got a built-in controller, and that is literally how thin it is, probably about the width of my thumb. So that's pretty cool. So that's the gauge. Obviously that's our wideband sensor here. Going to need to be connected up to the exhaust system somewhere, which is what they've supplied this little threaded bung for. So we're going to have to drill a hole somewhere in the exhaust, get this welded in, and we can screw the sensor in. Once the sensor's screwed in, we've got to route the connection loom through to from inside the cabin to this loom here. So yeah, that'll be probably the hardest part of connecting this up, will be actually getting this thing to route inside the cabin nicely. So that's the wiring loom between the wideband sensor and the gauge, so it's pretty self-explanatory. and then we've got the power hookup for the gauge itself. So a couple of wires in there. Obviously it'll be your power ignition source, earth or ground. There's a couple of other wires in there as well. There's probably some illumination hookup as well, so it dims when you turn the headlights on. But yeah, in terms of the gauges and their wiring connections and that sort of thing, that's basically it. Do a little bit of a cold start and see how it starts from last time. In terms of the wiring side of things, we'll get into that in the next episode, which hopefully will be next weekend, maybe, if I get time. It's a bit hard to find time to work on it at the moment, but ideally that's going to be happening very soon. The sooner I can get these gauges installed, the sooner I can get this base tune done. I was intending to try and get it to Auckland all 4 day this year, because I've missed all 4 days for the longest time now. Can't even remember the last all 4 day I actually attended, so yeah, it'd be cool to get it all sorted before then. Car's not legal, but we'll still make the trip out if it's running. So yeah, hopefully wiring side of things will be fairly straightforward, like every other gauge install I've done. Don't mind my dog down here just having a nosy. Gracie, you all right there? Girl can't keep out of anything. So yeah, we'll get into that in the next episode. Like I was saying, this is going to be pretty short. It's just an overview of the parts that I've got and what the plan of attack is. So yeah, once we get that sorted, basically straight back into the base tuning side of things. Like I was saying, I want to get this to Auckland all 4 day if I can. It's not exactly in the best condition right now. It's got a hell of a lot of paint peeling on the bonnet and that sort of thing, so it'd be nice to try and tidy that up before the big day. But yeah, I don't know if I'll have time, to be honest. So we'll see how things go. Worst case, we'll give all 4 day a miss, and we'll see if I can take one of the other cars. So yeah. So in terms of getting this gauge mount sorted, we've got a little bit of a gap just up here. Got a little bit of a gap here. We've got a gigantic gap on this side. So what I'm looking at is where we're making contact already with the A-pillar, which is around this sort of radius here. What I'm looking at doing is actually cutting this radius back so that this sort of locates a little bit more, because if I can get this to wrap around a little bit more of the pillar, I might actually be able to melt that corner up a little bit. And likewise with the bottom, I'm thinking if I was to notch, if I can get this section here sort of fitting the bottom of the pillar a little bit better, it actually might not look too bad. So it is going to be a little bit of mucking around to get it to fit, but I think I might actually go with this for now anyway. Yeah, it's annoying. I didn't think it would be this far off. Obviously, cars are all different and whatnot, but yeah, I was sort of hoping it would be a little bit closer. But yeah, that's not overly bad. There is a bit of plastic there to work with in terms of trimming it, but getting it to still make contact in areas. So I'll go grab the file, I'll make some little markings, and yeah, we'll get into shaping this a little bit better. Alright, so basically just shaping this with a craft knife, box cutter knife, whatever you want to call them, and a file. So pretty much just trying to mark out that profile at the moment. I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll try and get that to fit as best I can. And basically what I'm going to do is heat this up and just sort of form it around, because it does have a little bit of flex to it. So I think if I was to heat it up, that would probably fold around and sort of wrap around this section here. I don't know whether I'm going to actually be able to get it to fit 100%, but I'll get it close, I think. The thing I don't really want to do is heat it up too much, and then it distorts the actual pocket where the gauge slips into. So yeah, we'll keep chipping away at it. Worst case, it's going to go in the bin. So yeah, not a major loss if it doesn't work out, but we'll give it a go. So we've done a little bit of heating. It's sort of starting to match a little bit closer. It has deformed the pocket a little bit, but a little bit more heat and we'll pop that back out and it should be fine. It's not too far away. I still need to modify the bottom section quite a bit, so yeah, I'll keep cracking on with this, and then yeah, in the next episode we'll definitely have these gauges sitting right, and yeah, we'll get the rest of the job done. Yeah, pretty much that's it for this video. Not a hell of a lot happening in this episode, unfortunately, which is a bit shit, but yeah, just been waiting on parts, and yeah, a little bit too late in the weekend to make any good progress on it. So we'll end the video on that note, and then yeah, like I was saying, next episode will definitely be the wiring up of the gauges and hopefully getting this thing on the road, just so I can see what it needs next. Because I definitely know it's going to need a high stall, but I want to know roughly what sort of power band we're working with before I go and get one of those done. So yeah, thanks for watching, even though it's a pretty boring episode. Thanks for watching. Hopefully next weekend or the weekend after we'll have a bit more progress on this. So yeah, stay tuned. Also just want to say thanks to all the subscribers as well, and all the comments. It's been a bit surreal. I didn't really think I'd get much interest on this channel, to be honest. Pretty much shot up to just over 500 subscribers this weekend, so halfway on that target to monetizing the channel. So yeah, we're well on our way, guys. So yeah, thanks again, guys, appreciate it, and yeah, catch you on the next one. Sure.